And we're live with
Let's go.
Beefy. Live with Beefy, the second ever live podcast. Special guest, senior coach, general manager. Um, Give me more. Triathlete, marathoner,
Head
power
nutrition
lifter,
coach. Yeah, just
um,
straight up native beef.
beach brawler, any other
RX
titles?
competitor.
Oh, RX athlete, RX level
Yeah.
athlete, level three in our terms.
Level three, absolutely.
All right, so nutrition. Let's talk nutrition. We got the holidays coming up, and
Okay.
the time of year where everybody gets fat. You know,
I know, I was just telling you this morning, I don't want to be a pork chop. I want to be a nice, lean, strong piece of steak
this is a
this
rough
holiday
time of year
season.
for you, isn't it? This is a rough time of year for you because everyone starts bringing out uh, all their best recipes for the holidays.
It's not that. It's just that these are the two holidays where it's like buffet style. And there's nothing I love more than a buffet.
Yeah, yeah. We've talked about it before. It's trying to get rid of that broke mentality that if there's a buffet, you have to go crazy, right?
I I kind of tend to go crazy buffet or not, but the
Yeah,
buffet pushes me over the edge for
like
sure.
if I'm trying not to drink and then someone says there's an open bar, then I'm in trouble. Like I'm just in trouble, because I can't shake that off. And I think that's cool for what I'm trying to do for the holidays is just put some rules around it. So I've gone straight carnivore starting this week, building into the holidays where I want to be able to just keep it simple. So like say I'm at a Thanksgiving, I can just eat all the turkey and I can just eat all the, you know what I mean? Like I can eat all the good
Mhm.
stuff and just say, hey, don't go crazy. Maybe I do have a little bit of mashed potatoes. Maybe I do, but I just mostly pile up on the meat side of things and don't just come out of the holidays feeling like shit.
Mhm. I mean, it's definitely, you started back at carnivore. I went back high fat animal base just because we did recently. We had the triathlon, we had beach brawl. So it was heavy carbs, and you like to call them dirty carbs,
Right.
that I was eating a lot of, but I was in prep. So I was getting ready for all those competitions. But I mean, it is crazy how much better my body feels even over just the last 4 days since I've been back on high fat, strictly meat, fruits, some veggies.
Yeah. I
But
wonder if next competition we try just keeping it clean.
I mean, maybe that's why, I don't know. I keep thinking about it and I was like, man, I didn't really feel as fueled as I normally do in my workouts. And I was like, is it because I was so heavy on all these carbs that my body really doesn't have a great time processing?
Hmm. Well, I
So
think that's
maybe,
why I try to keep it simple now is just because I like simple rules. Because when you do take the rules away, especially somebody like you binge, right? So
Mhm.
go into a competition and knowing that you've got all this stuff coming up, like maybe you just overate the wrong stuff before you start, and then your body was in a bit of shock. Whereas if you're super clean most of the time, your body knows where to get its energy from. It's not like you have to retrain it. And
Mhm.
you've also got rules around it where you're not then just like taking all your restrictions off and just going crazy because you don't need to go crazy before a competition, right?
Mhm. I mean, and the thing is I don't really view what I do as rules. I know
Mm.
where, people try to think, oh, you're going carnivore, or you're doing keto or whole 30. I don't view the things that I'm not doing as, oh, these are the rules to it. Because for me, it's like I enjoy this. So
Hmm.
I enjoy eating what I eat, meal prepping what I have. So there's never really any, I don't know, I'm not ever missing anything. But it's
Yeah.
like you said, but then when I'm allowed to change, not, change what I'm eating, that's when I go crazy. I'm like, oh, well, now I'm going to eat all this stuff.
Hmm.
I'm going to go all in because I'm a both feet in type of person, no matter what I'm doing, whether it's
Yeah.
eating cleaner, eating the dirty carbs. I don't really, I don't put
Yes.
any restrictions on myself.
It's not that you don't have any rules. You can eat anything as long as it fits your macros, right? But
Mhm.
when you take even that restriction off, then it's just a free for all, right? And then you're eating like a whole packet of frosted flakes,
Okay, you don't need to be
right?
telling the people what I do.
Well, I mean, if you do it once a year, And I think it might be revealing that maybe you didn't feel as energetic and as awake and as like as primed as you wanted to feel, maybe because of that. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I don't know. So it's not like you're eating Frosted Flakes every day. It's not like you're eating them once a week. It's just you did it once. And you know what I mean? Like, I think it's worth a try next time to see if we just stay clean.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kept telling you that whole day, especially at beach ball, I was like, man, my stomach doesn't feel right. And I did. I ate 2 bowls of Frosted Flakes
Yeah.
that morning before
Well,
we
you
even
ate two
did the
bowls,
end.
and then I think I saw you putting your hand in the box, like you were just going crazy. So yeah, it's funny.
I'm like, carbs, sugar.
Yeah,
But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this holiday season of really, sticking with, I mean, I just enjoy it.
yeah.
So it's not,
Well, I
it's not
think
a task
honestly,
or a
like
job.
I think I might just like Thanksgiving Day, for example, just no real restriction, just enjoy it, you know. But up to that and before that, Savannah just commented and said, "What can I do? Oh, I can show this comment. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Where does it go? Oh, that's cool. One time after a comp, I saw Caitlin eat a bag of Cheetos for breakfast. So yeah, no rule.
No, I did. They were hot Cheetos too, and they were really, really good.
Yeah, but that's what happens when there's no rules, right? Like you
Right?
imagine today waking up and having a bag of Cheetos for breakfast. Like it's not gonna happen. You know, it's
No,
you don't even comprehend it. Like it would even if those 17 bags of Cheetos on the counter, you wouldn't be like, let me grab one of them at 7 a.m. So yeah, it's funny.
no. I mean, she's not lying.
Yeah. So I'm getting into carnivore, and carnivore I know can be quite controversial, just like animal based can be quite controversial. But I mean,
Mhm.
you've seen the other side of that, right? You were a vegan,
Yep.
and
Yep.
you know, yes, say you've had a couple of weeks of dirty macros, that's nothing compared to how you felt and how you looked, let's be honest, when you were a vegan. So like just go
I,
into that a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, so it was really the trend. I mean, it's always been a trend, I feel like, to be vegan or vegetarian. And it's
Yeah.
gotten even bigger with all the processed meats and all the new, I mean, everything these days I feel like is vegan. It's coming
Okay.
vegan, it's vegetarian. So um, I had always at the time, I was like, I want to be skinny. Like, I really want to be really, really skinny. And so I was just like, I'm going to try being vegan and vegetarian. And what ended up happening is I just ended up, I mean, am I allowed to say this? Am I allowed to say that being vegan and vegetarian, I got cancer?
I mean, that's what happened to you.
I mean, that's what happened to me. I
I mean,
never,
what is it? Correlation's not causation, right? So it
right.
wasn't necessarily that was the cause, but let's
Mhm.
just say in general you were sick. Like you didn't feel
Right,
good, you didn't look good, and you got
right,
cancer. Whether the cancer was from that, we will never know, right? But
right.
you just were not in a good place compared
Mm-mm.
to where you are now. Just seeing you sitting in that there in that tank top, you're strong, you're healthy. You just like I just said when I introduced you, it was a marathon triathlete, RX athlete, lifting the heaviest weights you've ever lifted, feeling the best you've ever felt, and eating mostly fat and animal based foods, right? So,
Yeah. I
um,
think I actually just ate something green for the first time in 2 years over the weekend.
yeah,
So I mean, and that's the thing is when I was being a vegan and vegetarian, I wasn't actually eating, all the greens, all the veggies, all the fruits. I was eating processed meats, all the fake, you know, breads, cookies, fried everything, gluten, soy, all that,
I
just
can't
because it was like,
imagine. I can't imagine how much food you had to eat, you as a vegan, to get full. Like that must have just been. It must have been like a bucket of salad.
but that's the thing though. I didn't eat as much as I do now. I could eat one salad with some chicken on it, and I'd be like, good to go. And then I'd go look in the mirror, and I'd be like, oh,
Chicken?
do I look skinny today?
How are you eating chicken?
I mean, I don't really eat chicken anymore. Oh,
Well,
I
you
mean,
said
the big,
you're
like
a
the
terrible
chicken,
vegan.
no, there's like these.
Oh, the fake chicken. The
The
fake chicken.
fake chicken.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, and you have
Yeah.
all the fake meats. Yeah. Kind
Yeah.
of
I mean,
the
the
lab
doc,
grown lab grown trash. Basically
oh yeah.
candy bars in a frozen bag.
Oh yeah. I mean, I never thought to look at the ingredients when I would eat those things. You know, the certain brands that I was eating, Morningstar, Dr. Praeger's, like I would look and I'd be like, oh, okay, it says vegan, it has this much amount of protein in it, I'm gonna eat it.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you look back and you're like, oh my God, all that safflower oil, canola oil, soy, all those hydrolyzed proteins, just everything in it, starches,
Yep.
fake everything.
All
I
right.
mean, it definitely,
I'm gonna share something now, a video that
okay.
we've both watched. Um, and it's yeah, I'm just gonna play it. Hopefully people can hear it. Hopefully it doesn't
Yeah.
echo too bad. If it does, I'm sorry. We'll figure this out as we go. It's only our second live. But yeah, people are not gonna like this video, I don't think. It's very triggering. Um, and to me, it if it is true, it's annoying. But we'll get into that after. So I'm gonna share this video.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
White cap mushrooms had over 100 known carcinogens, but also spinach, kale, lettuce, celery, cabbage, cucumber, broccoli, literally given pages and pages of every plant that you've ever come across in the grocery store. And not a single one had less than 60 known human carcinogens in them. They were quite abundant. We have research from Professor Bruce Ames from Berkeley in the 1980s that actually went into this, which we'll go on to in a minute. We were quite taken aback by this, obviously. We were very, very shocked, as some of you may be right now. And I remember thinking in my head, well, but vegetables are still good for you, though, right? And
That question right there, you
Right.
know, even after he's being told how many carcinogens are in all these plants and vegetables, his question is still like, well, they're still good for me, right? That's the question that I had too, right? Is I've
Mhm.
been told eat your vegetables, eat your fruit and veg, 5 a day. Is it 5 a day? Something like that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
eat your 5 a day. It'll keep the doctor away, whatever kind of rhyme you want. But that's how I feel. I still think, even though I eat carnivore right now, that meat is bad and plants are good and vegetables are
Yeah.
good. Still, I have that. A salad for lunch with chicken would be healthy, you know?
Mhm.
And I'm still brainwashed that way.
I mean, it really does blow my mind how when people do, work with me or they do Ox 100 and we kind of get into the subject of vegetables and they're like, oh, well, I'm eating a salad for lunch. And I'm like, well, we need to have something more, more substantial. But it's just like he said, you know, you look at all these vegetables and all these carcinogens, and we haven't even gotten to the point yet where we're about to talk about how plants are trying to poison us.
Yeah. Well, let him finish. Ready? So
Yeah, let's
our
go.
professor must have just read our minds. He looked at us like, you guys aren't getting this. And he just said, I don't eat salads. I don't eat vegetables. I don't let my kids eat vegetables. Plants are trying to kill you.
yeah, I mean
People
that's a big.
really, people really don't believe me when I say that. People will have fought me nonstop about that.
I would fight you. I'd probably still fight you a little bit because it's still like it's a big statement, right? Like, and
Mhm.
like he said, he doesn't eat. His professor didn't eat salads. He won't feed vegetables to his kids. Plants are trying to kill you. And the long form podcast and the long form, I've seen him on a few things now. Is that they all have defense chemicals in them. They don't want to
Mhm.
be eaten by animals. They don't want to be eaten by humans. So they produce so many um, protective chemicals that you ingest all them protective chemicals. And we used to even like peel potatoes, and then we stopped doing that. But all the skin of the potatoes is to stop anything getting into it. And now we
Mhm.
eat that. And it's just like the more you delve into it, the more you just get frustrated because you're like, I love potatoes, and I was told they're healthy for the past 30 years, and now I can't eat potatoes. Like, you just don't want to believe it. And I've not looked at the research, but from the way I feel, when I eat no vegetables to the way I feel when
Mhm.
I do, I know something's off.
Well, yeah, I mean, my question for people is when they ask me about that, I'm like, how come when you have a cat or a dog, they tell you they're not supposed to eat these certain foods and they happen to be all vegetables because it could kill them, but yet we can eat that, but we're fine if we eat it? That makes no sense to me. Why
Yeah.
is it going to kill a cat or a dog, but then oh, I need it for my health?
Yep. That's pretty crazy because I until I got Astro, and I've seen most dogs will eat anything. If
Yeah.
we drop something on the floor, Astro, if it's not meat, won't eat it. And it's really frustrating when the kids are dropping food everywhere. And I'm like, Astro. And then I still have to go get the vacuum because he turns his nose up at it. But until that, anything processed, anything that is not just meat or fish, he won't touch it. He
Yeah.
sniffs it and he looks at me like I'm crazy and walks away.
Well, because ask yourself this is like, why don't I eat Brussels sprouts or asparagus raw? Why do all these vegetables have such a bitter taste? And the only way I can enjoy them is by covering them in sauces, cooking them in butter, putting them with all these things to make them taste good. I mean, that should say something because that's our body letting us know that we shouldn't be eating that. It doesn't taste good. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Yeah.
Why do you think fruit is sweet? Because fruit is the part of the plant that we are supposed to eat. It's made to taste that way. We're supposed to eat it,
But only when they're
but
ripe, right? Like
but only when they're ripe.
they only have a
Mhm.
certain time when they do taste good.
Right,
So yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I'm not 100% sold. I'm like, because like I said, 30 years of eating salads and eating vegetables and being told that they're good. I know how good I feel when I'm on carnivore, and I know how good I feel when I'm not eating processed foods. But I've never done one and the other. So maybe it is just that I'm not eating processed foods. Maybe it is that I'm just not eating sugar and I could throw in some vegetables. Maybe, but I just like the debate and I like the topic and I like talking about it with people. And if it is right, fighting with your kids over them eating vegetables is crazy, right? Because somehow they know they don't want to eat that.
They know it doesn't taste good. They spit it out, and that's why baby food you got to mix with. It's like apple and then spinach and pear. So they put two fruits with a veggie. Why? Because they need to make
Because
it
the
taste
veggies
good.
are gross.
Because veggies are gross. And like I said, being a vegan and vegetarian, I did eat a lot of salads. Like I used to, even when I stopped being vegetarian or vegan and I would eat just fish, like I wouldn't eat any red meat or chicken at all. I went pescatarian after I was vegan or vegetarian. And I would, at my old job, I would get a salmon salad every single day. But the thing is how come when I was eating healthy, I thought then I still didn't look very healthy. My skin was terrible. The whites of my eyes weren't even that white. I don't even think my teeth were that white. Like my teeth almost were still kind of yellow.
Hmm.
And my stomach still would hurt all the time. I got a sensitive tummy.
Mhm.
And I always would ask myself, I'm like, why does my stomach still hurt if I'm eating so healthy and clean? But I mean, for me, the difference has been substantial when I felt like I always had some kind of inflammation, whether it was around my knees, my ankles, my hands. My acne was really bad. The way I would sleep wasn't that great. And the minute I switched from eating greens to carnivore when we did it that first time, when I first came into the gym, I mean, I started to sleep so deep and so great that I would snore. I still snore. I snore pretty bad. And my skin has cleared up. I mean, I really do look and feel the best I have ever in my entire life.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with somebody that eats that way because they just don't like cruelty to animals, you know?
Mhm.
And then say they eat a lot of vegetables and eat a lot of fruits and it's all natural. Everybody knows somebody that got great results from eating that way
Mhm.
because the key thing was they cut out the processed food, right? So they're
Yeah.
still eating real food. I just worry that what if these plants are trying to kill you and that is all you're eating? Like, yeah, short term you might feel good, but what are the long term effects of that? And yeah, I don't know, but it's a fun debate. So, and
Yeah.
I just love the title. Plants are trying to kill you. Like that. That's triggering, you know?
Oh, it is. And I mean, here's the thing is like, sure, you feel great. And like you said, the people that do being vegan and vegetarian right, which are the people that, they're making everything from scratch. They're not buying anything processed. They look healthy. They look great.
Yeah.
But it's when you're a vegan and vegetarian and all you eat are French fries and these processed meats. And then you look at these people and you're like, well, why am I not healthy when I am a vegan?
Yeah, that's just as bad. It's
Right.
when someone tells you they're eating paleo, and then you look at their nutrition and it's paleo versions of shit, right? Like
Yeah.
the whole point of paleo is that you're eating real food. You're supposed to go back to whole foods, and like Whole 30 means whole foods, and then it's like I had this paleo protein bar and I had this paleo muffin, I had these paleo. No, just eat real food. Like I don't care if you're a vegan or a vegetarian. Just don't eat versions of real food. Eat real food.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
let's
mean,
go into some processed stuff. Are you ready for this?
yes, I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So share screen. Are we being poisoned? This is a good one. So two good subjects. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Did you know some of the foods that you might be feeding your kids are banned in other countries because of certain ingredients? So how are they allowed in the U.S.?
Yep.
Crazy.
Right? I know. I think about that all the time and it just pisses me off.
Why are they allowed in the U.S., but they're banned everywhere else?
Hmm.
Why?
Good
Tell
question.
me.
Why? Oh man, because it's all about money here. It's all about money. It's not about health. You go to Asia and you're sick, they're going to look strictly at your nutrition and your diet first. They do functional medicine. But you come here to America, you're feeling sick, they're just like, oh, well, here's some medicine, take these pills, drink this, you'll be fine. They don't go to the root cause. And plus, they're just trying to keep us sick. But that's just me.
All right. Ready? Let's see what's in them.
And in
All
the
right, let's go.
European Union because of dyes like yellow 5, yellow 6,
used to love
and
those.
red 40. The EU banned these artificial colors after scientific research indicated they could be harmful
These
to
dyes are
health,
so bad.
especially to young children.
So they're aimed at young children, but
Mhm.
they're harmful to health, especially of young children. And that's what studies have found, but still we'll just keep selling them. And then they're literally like, I lived in England, right? So I saw when you could go to places called like US candy shops, and everything would have to have warning labels on it in the US candy
Really?
shop.
Warning labels?
Right. Mountain Dew, because of the sugar content, had to be listed as a energy drink. So it
That's
couldn't just be
crazy.
listed as a soda. It had to be on there like this is a high energy drink. It had to have that warning label on it. And that's just Mountain Dew, right? And then some just can't be
Right.
sold because of the ingredients. And none of these ingredients make the thing taste any better, right? Like I
No.
haven't had candy over here and been like, well, that tastes way different. Skittles taste so different in America than they do in other countries.
I mean,
I
it's
don't
just,
understand why the
Go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, I mean, they're feeding it to children, especially because it's like start them young, get them addicted now, get them into those habits now, because then it just continues into adulthood.
FDA is not regulating these things more stringently, and why there are so many foods that we have available to us in grocery store shelves in the United States that are illegal, that are banned throughout Europe. There are multiple randomized controlled trials in humans showing that these food dyes cause behavioral issues in kids. I don't even know why they're still allowed in the US. In my mind, this is nothing less than food corruption at the highest levels of government, so you have to inform yourself. And if you make better decisions in the grocery store, you can absolutely feel better, heal yourself, and lose weight, but it's up to you. Don't be misled by what's in the grocery store.
All right, that's enough, Paul. That's your guy, right?
That's my guy. I love following him. And plus,
Yeah.
I love how he just challenges everything.
Yeah. So
So,
he is good, right? Like I follow a lot of
mhm.
that stuff, and I obviously, I mean, carnivore now. We'll go animal based after this, but the best comment on this of why I understand and what I think it is in the US right now. And the only way I saw this was doing my first paleo challenge, is because I just saw the effects of eating real food on my body instantly, right? 30 days. I only did it for 30 days and my body completely changed. And I felt better. And I was like, what the heck? Why is it banned in all these other countries? Well, because most of them countries have healthcare, right? So if them things do cause that many problems, then you're gonna have to pay for it on the other end of that with all these people being sick. Yep. Whereas I saw Greg Glassman, the founder of CrossFit, once said, we have a disease economy and an outbreak of health would sink the economy. So if everybody started eating healthy, then it would sink the healthcare, because the healthcare is a business. It's not funded by the government. So the business would fail. And if you think how sick the US is, that's one of the only things keeping the economy going. If everybody all of a sudden was well and not taking anything from the pharmaceutical companies, not going to the hospitals, not paying these insurance companies, it would kill the whole system, because we don't really make much stuff in the US anymore. So pretty much the economy runs on people being sick.
Oh, yeah. And and of course, if you notice when you go to the grocery store, all these super processed foods, heavy dyes, all this food that isn't bad for you, it's the cheapest. It's the easily most accessible. And that's how they do it. They make it that way just to keep everybody sick. Don't get me started about the government.
You still have a choice. Like, people are acting like you don't have a choice. Like,
sometimes
all around the outside of the supermarket is real food.
Yeah, but sometimes when you really think about it, though, I go to the grocery store and it is expensive to eat. I'm not gonna lie, it's expensive to eat healthy. Mm-hmm. It really is. And then when you're someone who now in this economy as well, and you have kids and you have to make lunches and they're eating a lot, it really gets hard to be able to provide for you and your kids.
Well, you saw what Kellogg said recently, right?
What did they say?
Kellogg's. He said, in this economy, an affordable option would be to have cereal for dinner.
Oh,
I won't feed my kids cereal for breakfast, but in this economy, a good idea is to, and they're not talking about like a whole grain, like what is the stuff you used to get, the bags of granola, or they're talking about like Frosted Flakes, which is just a bowl of sugar, and Lucky Charms, which have all them colors and all them dyes in, and it's just sugar. It's just straight sugar. Frosted mini wheats. We don't want to get into the food pyramid today. We'll do that next week. But frosted mini wheats were on the new government health guidelines, higher than ground beef.
Did I miss that? Did I miss that? Really?
Yep. The new government guidelines, frosted mini wheats, higher, healthier for you than, I think it was 85% or 80% ground beef as a recommendation.
I think that's my bad because I don't watch the news and I really don't keep up with any of the news because it's all so negative and just mentally draining that I completely miss that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
We'll look at the food pyramid next week.
That's absurd.
Especially the new one. Because the new one, it not only has terrible information on it, which obviously this podcast could be described as misinformation, 29 minutes of misinformation, but it's information that we've seen. It's information that we've lived. I've worked with 400 or 500 clients on their nutrition in the last 2 years, even. So like thousands over the last 10 years. And I've seen the effect. So it's just what I've seen.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's like, because when we do these challenges, just within the first 30 days, we have one of our athletes who all he did was stop drinking soda and stopped eating fast food. And he lost, 40 pounds in a couple months. That was it. That's all he did. So just soda and eating out when he was at work. And he lost that much weight. If that doesn't say and speak volumes,
Yeah.
then I mean,
The food pyramid, we'll get into that next time, but came out in the 80s. And since the 80s, nothing good has happened
no,
in terms of health. It's a public health crisis now. So we'll bring up the full one and look at it, but you'll be amazed. Because, I mean, there's even like brand names. Like, there shouldn't be brand names in a government recommended food pyramid, right? Like, even Paul Saladino said it's government corruption at the highest level. And like, it's just lobbyists paying to get their foods on a pyramid to say they're healthy when we know what's healthy, real food, not frosted mini wheats.
No, I mean, as
Or
good as they
anything in the
taste.
cereal aisle. Just stay out of the cereal aisle.
Right. I know that's definitely my biggest thing is, like you said, when I'm prepping for these competitions and I walk down the aisles, I'm just so floored by all the things that I see. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even know this was here. And I'm like looking at everything, but I'm like, God, I know how bad it is.
Yeah, I need a photo of you eating handfuls of frosted mini wheats for the thumbnail for this video.
You know that I used to love frosted mini wheats because they have the frosting on one side, and then when you put it in your bowl, you'd make sure to have all the frosting facing up.
Yep.
So then it stays crunchy and hard as you go in to eat it with the milk, and the bottom gets a little wet. Oh my God.
Yeah, but why did you like it? Because I also like Snickers.
Right?
Like,
you do like Snickers.
But
yeah.
I'm not going to put milk on top of it and eat it for breakfast. So, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's 30 minutes. Let's wrap it up.
That's crazy.
So you're on animal-based right now. Feeling good?
Yep. I honestly feel like I could run through a brick wall today. That's how good I feel.
That's how we end it.
Great.
Thanks, Cait. We got 3
thanks, man.
viewers, the most we've had live.
That's so cool. Who was it? Can you tell who it is?
Oh, yeah, Savannah and Lauren, and then somebody else. So
I love that. That's awesome.